Hi, my name's Emily and today I'm going to be reviewing the book The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson. This isn't the first book by Maureen Johnson that I've read. I read the book 13 Little Blue Envelopes and its sequel, and I also read the book Girl at Sea. But this is quite different from her other books, which were just sort of young adult contemporary romances. And this is more of like a ghost murder mystery type book, so that was really different for me, and that's not really the type of book that I normally read, but I figured I'd check it out because I like Maureen Johnson a lot. I find she's really funny, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. So the plot is basically that there's this girl named Rory DeVoe. Her parents are teachers and they're taking a sabbatical to teach in Bristol, and it's her senior year of high school, so while her parents are teaching in England, she decides to go to boarding school in London. She starts at the school named Wexford, which is a boarding school in London, and on the very first day that she arrives in London, the news breaks that there's been this murder, and it looks as though it's a copycat of Jack the Ripper because it's got the same date and a lot of the same characteristics of that murder. And so there begins like this whole media frenzy, and everyone's trying to catch the killer, wondering if he'll strike again, because of course Jack the Ripper was a serial killer. So that's sort of where the plot begins. And this girl Rory, she's just going to school. I mean, everyone's sort of scared of the Ripper, but they're sort of just going about their business. But then one night, while eating dinner, Rory is telling a story, but then she chokes on her food and everything goes kind of white, and she like loses consciousness, I think, and she sort of has like a near-death experience, and after that things sort of start to change for her. Weird things start happening. She starts seeing people that other people don't see, and eventually comes to the conclusion that she's been seeing ghosts. And this sort of connects with the whole Jack the Ripper plotline because it becomes obvious that it's not a person committing these murders, it's a ghost. And so basically it's just her trying to survive, trying to go to school, and also trying to stop this murderer who only she can see. So she's having a rough time, Rory. At first, yeah, I didn't really know what to expect from this book because it's so different from everything I read, but I was really surprised. I really liked it. I read it really quickly, and I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely going to read the sequel. And just a few spoiler-free little things that I liked about it. I really liked the characters. I found them quite realistic, and I love the atmosphere because it goes back and forth between this sort of like this cozy, nice fall London atmosphere where she's just at school with her friends having fun and whatever. But then there's some really creepy, intense moments where there are ghosts and there's real danger, and those were actually quite scary to me. I mean, I'm not the bravest person, but I found them quite scary. So, and I also liked, I liked a lot of the Jack the Ripper like historical knowledge because a lot of it is factual, even though obviously there's not ghosts. There's a lot of factual information in this book. There's like a map where it shows where all of his victims were and all sort of stuff like that. And normally I'm not into murder mystery history, but I really enjoyed that. That's my spoiler-free section of the review. It's a really good book if you like young adult, if you like ghosts, if you like murder mysteries, if you like history, if you just like reading, check it out because it's really good. But now I'm going to get into the spoilery section of the review, so if you haven't read it yet, then you should probably go read it, come back, and then watch the rest. Okay, so here's the spoiler section of the review. Those of us who've read the book. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was really good, and here are some of the things that I really liked about it. First of all, I find it funny. Like, I've read books by Maureen Johnson before, and I follow her on Twitter and stuff, and it's just funny how like little things about the author sort of like seep into the writing, even though they probably don't even realize it. Like, I know Maureen Johnson from following her on Twitter. She's a vegetarian, and I just noticed like each day when they were in the refectory, I think they called it, but like the cafeteria at their school, she'd list like the meal options, and there'd always be a vegetarian one, and I'm a vegetarian, so I just noticed that, and I thought it was just a funny little detail. Just thought that was interesting. And yeah, I really liked a lot of the characters. I thought Rory was like, she's funny and she's a little bit ridiculous sometimes because she's always telling like these stories about her family back in Louisiana, and some of them are like completely silly and ridiculous, but they're also sort of charming and like funny. So I don't know, I really liked her, and she's not like, I'm not like Rory really at all, but I thought she was a likable character, so that's good because it always sucks when you don't like the protagonist. A character who I related more with was Jazza, who's Rory's roommate. She is super nice. She reads, she studies hard. She just is like always there for her friend. I also really like Jerome. I thought he was funny and stuff, but mostly I liked his relationship with Rory because I thought it was really realistic. They're friends at first, but then they sort of start a relationship. And it's kind of cute and whatever, they like spend time together. But what I like kind of about it is a lot of the time Rory is just like can't even deal with him because she's dealing with all this like Ripper stuff, and she knows that there's like this ghost who's coming to murder her, and she just found out she can see ghosts and all this crazy stuff. And I just thought it was kind of realistic that sometimes she's just like, I can't deal with you, I have to deal with like the murderer. Because in a lot of books, especially like dystopians and fantasy, these people are in all these life and death situations, but they can only think about a boy. And realistically, that's not what you'd be thinking. You'd be like, how do I stay alive? Not, how do I get a boyfriend? I like that that was a more realistic portrayal of what a relationship would be like if you're in that situation. He's just sort of like, he's nice and he's there and she likes him, but he can't be her only concern right now. So Jazza and Jerome and Rory, they're really good friends, and there comes that night where they all sneak out together, and I just remember thinking, you would have had to drag me out of that place. I would have been so scared. I never could have done what they did to go out and like wait on the roof for the murder to occur. They know that it's going to be in this neighborhood because that's where historically where Jack the Ripper struck, and I just, that would not have been me. That's all I can say about that scene. I never would have gotten into that. But anyways, after Rory's near-death experience and after she sees the Ripper, she gets this new roommate, Boo, and Boo is more like, she's more like a city person, whereas Jazz is more from the countryside, and so is Rory. She's from a little town in Louisiana, and Boo is just completely different from them. She's not like, she doesn't study, she's not a big reader, she goes out more and is a little bit more crazy, and I kind of didn't relate to it at first, but then as I found out her true identity, that she's sort of part of this like ghost police thing with Stephen and Calum, or Stefan and Calum, I'm not sure. Then I sort of related to her more, and I started to like her character a lot more, and I thought she was kind of a good balance because a lot of the characters were sort of similar and she's very different. Stephen and Calum, I like them. I felt a lot of sympathy for them, especially Stefan/Stephen, when he told Rory that story right before they go into the train station about the boathouse and how he'd been depressed and all that, and I really just like, I felt really bad for him, but it made me happy that he'd like found this purpose and stuff. So I like him as a character, even though he's sort of like tough to get along with the other characters sometimes. I don't know, I like him. And Callum and Boo should totally get together because they are definitely meant to be. Who else could either of them go out with, really? And yeah, there were some funny scenes. Like, I love that scene where Rory is in the library and she's sitting next to Alistair just talking. And then Jerome comes in, and obviously he can't see Alistair because Alistair's a ghost. And he comes and sits down, and Rory's just in this like impossible situation. She's trying to like apologize to Alistair for that she can't talk to him anymore and whatever, and then Jerome's there like, what are you doing, who are you talking to? And it was a really, it was obviously uncomfortable for Rory, and I felt bad for her, but it was funny too. And I really like that scene. There were some tense moments too though, like there were some actually quite scary moments when the Ripper shows up at the dance and then like pushes Boo in from the car. I thought Boo was gonna be dead. Like, it seemed like she was dead, and that freaked me out because I really started to like her. And then when like the Ripper is texting her from all these different phone numbers to like come meet him at this abandoned train station, like you're like, shit's about to go down. That was some tense moments in the train station, of course. Like, Stephen's dying and Calum doesn't know what to do, and I think that Maureen Johnson like handled the pacing of those scenes really well. They never like were drawn out too long, because I find a lot of the time the climax of the story, often it's like some fight scene that'll go on for 30 pages, and after a while you're just like, okay, get to the point, because it just drags out. But it wasn't like that in this book, so I really like that. I'm not really sure what happened at the end with Rory. She goes into the bathroom where the Ripper had like stabbed her just to see it, get some closure, I guess. She sees this ghost, and it's like a lady ghost, and she's very upset, and Rory tries to comfort her. She touches her though, and the ghost sort of like disappears, like with the cell phone ghost disappear devices. I don't remember what they're called. I feel like something happened that made Rory sort of like take on that property, because now she touches them and like they pop just like what happened with those ghost machines. So I don't know, maybe that's probably part of the plot of the next book. And I felt bad for Rory. She had to go move to Bristol away from all her friends. And I don't understand why she couldn't talk to Boo and Callum and Stephen anymore, because obviously she needs to talk to them. Like, she's dealing with still a lot of ghost stuff. I mean, she's not dealing with a Ripper anymore, but she still has to learn how to, like, just deal with seeing ghosts. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I hope she gets to see them again, because I like those characters. And yeah, that's about it. So basically, I really like this book. It was completely different from most books that I read, but I really liked it, and I cannot wait to get the second book. I'm going to grab that from the library soon. And it was a really great read, and if you like ghosts, if you like murder mysteries, if you like books about London, if you like young adults, if you like books, just read this book, because I really liked it, and I think that a lot of people would, not just teenagers either. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. So that's it for my first review on this channel. I'm planning on doing more reviews as I read more books. I'd like to get into reviewing books regularly. So I hope that if you like it, you'll like and subscribe. And yeah, more reviews will be coming up soon. Thanks, bye.